Hello YouTube, my name is Big Boy Snack Shine TV, aka what kind of snacks you want, because I got playing around. As you can tell by the title of the video and the thumbnail, this is my AEW Dynamite review on highlights. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys please watch the entire video from all the way from the beginning over towards the end. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel for more wrestling review and highlights content, because I'm on the road to 12K before April. Follow my social media down below in the description, and go check out my WWE NXT review and highlights that I did on the channel last night. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, AEW Dynamite was a very good show, and I give that show a 8.5 out of 10. It says, former AEW World Champion Kenny Omega and Swerve Strickland will both be returning to action when they go head-to-head with one another. All through the issue between the two men began with their desire to each recapture the AEW World Championship. Things have become more personal between them over the last couple weeks, including last Wednesday's edition of AEW Dynamite when they encountered one another in a heated verbal confrontation that turned physical and ended with Swerve Strickland spearing Kenny Omega off the entrance ramp through a table. Speaking of the AEW World Championship title holder, MJF and the challenger Hangman Adam Page will be meeting with one another before they square off at AEW Revolution on March 15th for the title. Not only has Hangman Adam Page scored wins against Mark Davis of the Don Callis family, Brian Keith and Kazuchika Shibata of the Ops in singles competition in recent times, but he also emerged victorious against Andrade Alidal at AEW Grand Slam Australia this past Saturday to secure his title shot against MJF. Additionally, the Brawling Birds, Jamie Hayter and Alex Windsor, will be making their tag team debut on AEW Dynamite following their win against Charlie Evans and Kyla Knight at AEW House Rules Australia this past Saturday. We are live. Excalibur, Tony Schiavone, and Brian Danielson greet audience at home before we head over to a conversation between Renee Paquette and Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy reveals that he chosen Tomohiro Ishii as his tag team partner and plays Roger Strong to face Gabe Kidd and Clark Connors. Alright. Jon Moxley then makes his way to the ring. Mark Davis follows, with Don Callis noticeably absent from ringside. So we get the first match: Jon Moxley versus Mark Davis in an AEW Continental Championship eliminator match. And this was a fun match to watch. The bell rings and the two lock up. They take turns wearing one another down with submission holds. But Mark Davis runs over Jon Moxley with a standing splash and used the bottom rope to wear him down. Mark Davis flies off the forearms on Jon Moxley and follows it up with a pair of chops. Then lands a sit out on Jon Moxley and rains down right hands on Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley delivers a tope suicide through the middle rope to take out Mark Davis on the outside, but Jon Moxley bites Mark Davis' hand and stomps on it on the top of one set of the ring steps. Back from the break, Jon Moxley and Mark Davis teeter on the top rope. Jon Moxley bites Mark Davis' hand once again and connects with a superplex on him, but Mark Davis responds with an enziguri to Jon Moxley and follows it up with a back suplex to him. Mark Davis then delivers a pile driver to Jon Moxley and pins him, but Jon Moxley kicks out before Mark Davis levels him with a clothesline. Jon Moxley delivers a curb stomp to Mark Davis, but the pair look to level one another with clotheslines. Jon Moxley then manages to chin in a bulldog on Mark Davis, and Mark Davis tap out. The winner of the match, Mark Davis. This was a fun match to watch. FTR and Stokely then make their way to the ring. Alright, so we hear from FTR and Stokely. Alright, Dax Harwood says he's been racking his brain over the last week why the Young Bucks blindside himself in cash relief from behind at AEW Grand Slam Australia. He says Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson were the best tag team in the world in 2016 and coined the term FTR. But now they're sitting in second place to himself and Wheeler 10 years later. Stokely says the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over again as one expect a different result. He says the Young Bucks shook hands with the Rascals and Private Party following their triple threat number one contenders match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships, despite the fact they never would done that a year ago. Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson sneak up behind FTR and levels Harwood and Wheeler with their super kicks as Stokely is clueless and continues running his mouth about the Young Bucks family. Stokely slowly turns around when he realizes that Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson are behind him. They beg them not to attack him. Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson momentarily agree, but immediately turn around and super kick Stokely. Nick Jackson then grabs the microphone and says himself and Matt Jackson want their AEW World Tag Team Championships at AEW Revolution, as himself and Matt Jackson hold up the tag title belts. Maria Shafir then make her way to the ring. Megan Bayne, Penelope Ford, and Mina Shakara and Willow Nightingale all follow. So we get the next match. So we get Willow Nightingale versus Mina Shakara versus Megan Bayne versus Maria Shafir in a fatal 4-way match for the TBS Championship. This was a good match for what it was. The bell rings and Willow Nightingale flies out of the ring to level Megan Bayne and Maria Shafir on the outside. Mina Shakara then levels Willow Nightingale, Megan Bayne, and Maria Shafir with their crossbody off the top rope. Then dumps Maria Shafir back in the ring and lands a crossbody on her over the top rope from the apron. She goes for a pin, but Maria Shafir kicks out. Willow Nightingale lands a double chop on Maria Shafir and Megan Bayne, then lands a double code breaker on the both of them and stacks them on top of one another to deliver a splash to them in the corner. Maria Shafir sits Willow Nightingale on the top rope, but Megan Bayne watches Willow Nightingale with a forearm. Maria Shafir sends Willow Nightingale crashing out of the ring before Megan Bayne dumps Mina Shakara out of the ring to take out Willow Nightingale and Maria Shafir. Back from the break, Mina Shakara rocks Maria Shafir with a kick to her head and use Megan Bayne's spine to fly and take out Maria Shafir. Mina Shakara then lands a chop on Megan Bayne's chest and delivers a Hurricane to Maria Shafir, but Megan Bayne and Willow Nightingale levels Maria Shafir and Mina Shakara with clotheslines. Mina Shakara then levels Maria Shafir with a DDT, but Megan Bayne levels Mina Shakara with a DDT. Maria Shafir flies off kicks on Megan Bayne's chest, but Megan Bayne powerbombs Maria Shafir on the top of the timekeeper's table. Mina Shakara then delivers a shotgun drop kick to Willow Nightingale, but Willow Nightingale managed to roll up Mina Shakara for the win. The winner of the match and still your TBS champion, Willow Nightingale. This was a good match for what it was. Hangman Adam Page then makes his way to the ring. MJF follows as Tony Schiavone reminds fans at home that there will be no physicality during the upcoming meeting. Alright, so we get MJF and Hangman Adam Page meet with one another in the ring. This was a great segment between MJF and Hangman Adam Page. Alright. MJF says he hates Hangman Page guts and everything about him. He says he hates the way Page looks, walks, taunts, and wrestles. His white knight attitude, and that the fans think that Page is on his level, and they call him the main character of AEW. He says that the fans chant for Page and says he sees that something is off about Page. In his eyes, he says maybe it's the fact that Kenny Omega and Swerve Strickland are fighting. Then says he crumbled under pressure during both of his AEW World Championship reign, and pounders all people will realize that Page is nothing more than a fraud. And if he crumbles under the pressure of being an AEW World Champion once again, MJF says he's not looking at the same man he faced at Revolution last year. Then says, while Page is a lucky shot, it's all out of bullets. He says he can think of a better way. He think of a better gift at this year's Revolution than ending Hangman Adam Page. Hangman Adam Page says the fans carry him to the AEW World Championship twice, and says he beat MJF twice last year. Then says if there's a lucky shot in the ring tonight, it's MJF with his guaranteed AEW World Championship match that he waited a long time to cash in on. He says MJF dethroned him as AEW World Champion with a low blow. Then says he hates MJF so much more than MJF hates him. Page says it's not because of years of lying and cheating, but because he never met someone more like him. He says while everyone wants the AEW World Championship, both himself and MJF needs it, and says he wants to end this between them for good at AEW Revolution and their AEW World Championship match. He says he thinks that MJF knows that Revolution match can't just be a regular one. Then says he wants to hear MJF's idea for a stipulation because he always knows what it should be, as do the fans. The fans chant for the fans chant for a Texas death match, but MJF declines to add a stipulation to their Revolution match. Page responds by telling MJF that if he agrees to make their Revolution match a Texas death match, he will never challenge for the AEW World Championship ever again. MJF agrees to Page's terms, but says he needs a week to think about his choice of a stipulation. This was this was a good segment between MJF and Hangman Adam Page. I really enjoyed this segment right here. Alright. Orange Cassidy and Tomohiro Ishii then make their way to the ring. Gabe Kidd and Clark Connors will follow. So we get the next match. So we get the tag team match. Orange Cassidy and Tomohiro Ishii versus Gabe Kidd and Clark Connors. And this tag team match, this was a okay tag team match for what it was. Orange Cassidy and Gabe Kidd begin the action. The bell rings as Orange Cassidy takes out to Tomohiro Ishii. Clark Connors blindsides Tomohiro Ishii from behind and sends him crashing into the corner. But Tomohiro Ishii delivers a series of chops on Clark Connors in the corner and tags in Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy and Tomohiro Ishii take turns firing off chops on Clark Connors and levels him with a double chop before Orange Cassidy pins Clark Connors. Clark Connors kicks out and sends Orange Cassidy crashing into the corner spine first. Back from the break, Tomohiro Ishii and Gabe Kidd exchange slaps with one another. That looked like a slap fest to me. Clark Connors tags in and levels Tomohiro Ishii with a clothesline, but Orange Cassidy levels Clark Connors with a tornado DDT. Darby Allin appears out of nowhere in the crowd and pulls Gabe Kidd away from the ringside area. This opens the door for Orange Cassidy to land an orange punch on Clark Connors in the ring, and Tomohiro Ishii to follow it up with a brainbuster for the win. The winner of the match, Orange Cassidy and Tomohiro Ishii. This was an okay match for what it was. Alright. We then head over to a video from Hook where Hook says Samoa Joe has left him in charge of the ops in his absence. He says Kazuchika Shibata is recruiting in Japan while he's recruiting in the United States. The Broadbirds then make their way to the ring via Van and B3 CCA are already waiting inside. Alright, so we get the Brawling Birds versus Via Van and B3 CCA. And this tag team match right here, this was a squash tag team match. And that's all I gotta say. Alex Windsor and Van begins the action. The bell rings and Vansor rocks Van with a forearm strike. Jamie Hader tags in and rains down right hands on Van's head, then follows it up with a suplex to her. Alex Windsor tags in and fires off chops on Van's chest in the corner with Jamie Hader, but B3 CCA tags in and delivers a double springboard stunner to Alex Windsor and Jamie Hader. Alright. Alex Windsor counterposts B3 over to Jamie Hader, who's waiting with a backbreaker for her. Alex Windsor then levels B3 with a clothesline, then delivers a double clothesline to her with Jamie Hader. Jamie Hader and Alex Windsor then delivers a spinebuster. Jamie Hader line combination to B3 for the win. The winners of the match, Alex Windsor and Jamie Hader, the Brawling Birds. This was a squash tag team match. We then head over to Chris Statlander and Thunder Rosa speaking to Renee Paquette. Chris Statlander vows her retribution on the collar, but Thunder Rosa says she is and will be fighting the collar on behalf of the injured Chris Statlander. Jet Speed then makes their way to the ring. The Beast Mortaros follows. Alright, so we get the Beast Mortaros versus Kevin Knight, accompanied by Speedball Bailey. And this match right here, this was a quick match, so that's all I gotta say. The bell rings and Beast Mortaros is sent crashing out of the ring. It says Kevin Knight flies over the top rope with a crossbody to level the Beast Mortaros on the outside. Back from the break, Beast Mortaros delivers a clothesline to Kevin Knight to the corner and follows it up with a Samoan drop to him. Kevin Knight levels Beast Mortaros with a drop kick, then levels him with a clothesline and spikes him with a DDT. Kevin Knight then extends the top rope and delivers the UFO splash to Beast Mortaros for the win. The winner of the match, Kevin Knight. This was a quick match for what it was, and that's all I gotta say. Swerve Strickland and Prince Nana then make his way to the ring. Kenny Omega follows, and we see MJF watching the action from backstage. So we get the main event of the evening. So we get Kenny Omega versus Swerve Strickland, accompanied by Prince Nana. This was the match of the night right here. This main event was fantastic. The bell rings and the two lock up. Kenny Omega connects with the Hurricanrana on Swerve Strickland, but Swerve Strickland levels Kenny Omega with the clothesline and follows it up with the Chargeras that sends him crashing out of the ring. He flies over the top rope to level Kenny Omega on the outside, then sends Kenny Omega crashing into the ring steps midsection first. Kenny Omega responds by firing off a pair of chops on Swerve Strickland and sending him crashing over the barricade, then delivers a moonsault off the barricade to level him. Back from break, Swerve Strickland whips Kenny Omega into the corner and allows it up with a suplex to him. He looks to land a second one on Kenny Omega, but Kenny Omega responds with a suplex of his own on Swerve Strickland. Kenny Omega delivers a famouser to Swerve Strickland and follows it up with a moonsault to him off the ropes. But Swerve Strickland sits Kenny Omega on the top rope. Kenny Omega trips Swerve Strickland. Kenny Omega connects with a Snapdragon suplex and the V-trigger on Swerve Strickland. Then goes for a pin, but Swerve Strickland kicks out. Kenny Omega then lands two more V-triggers on Swerve Strickland and looks to land another one. But Swerve Strickland catches it and delivers a backbreaker to Kenny Omega. He then sends him crashing onto the ring apron. Kenny Omega lands a Snapdragon suplex on Swerve Strickland and then fires off right hands on his spine. and rocks him with the headbutt as the pair clotheslines continue teetering on the ring apron. Kenny Omega then looks to land a suplex on Schwarzenegger off the ring apron, but Schwarzenegger lands on his feet before the pair return to the ring. Kenny Omega lands a V-trigger on the back of Schwarzenegger's neck, then looks to land a second one on him. Schwarzenegger pulls the referee RB Everett in front of him, and Kenny Omega eventually hits RB Evans. Alright. Schwarzenegger then managed to land house call on Kenny Omega and pins him, but the referee is still down and missed the fall. He catapults Kenny Omega on the bottom turnbuckle, face first and connects with the swerve stomp off the top rope. They go for a pin as the referee recovers, but Kenny Omega managed to kick out. Schwarzenegger sets up for the house call on Kenny Omega, but Kenny Omega avoids it and lands a Snapdragon suplex on Schwarzenegger. He follows it up with a reverse hurricanrana to him and set up for the V-trigger. Kenny Omega counters into a house call and big pressure for the win. The winner of the match, Swerve Strickland. This was the match of the night right here between Kenny Omega and Swerve Strickland. This match really told the story from the beginning to the end. This was the match of the night right here. So I'll put this match in first place and Hangman and MJF segment in second place. That's all I gotta say. That's just my opinion. After the match, Swerve Strickland grabs his chain and wraps it around Kenny Omega's neck. He used the chain and the top rope to choke Kenny Omega, then pulls the ring steps away from the ring post and drags Kenny Omega up the ring steps. He connects with big pressure to Kenny Omega, breaking the ring steps to the process as the show goes off the air. Alright, let me give my honest opinion what I think about AEW Dynamite. Now, AEW Dynamite was a good show, and I give that show an 8.5 out of 10. And Brian Danielson says, you made your point. That's all I gotta say. You done enough. Daniel Bryan says you made your point. You know what I'm saying? But AEW Dynamite was a good show, and I give that show an 8.5 out of 10. But anyway, if you guys enjoy my AEW Dynamite review on House, make sure you guys please watch the entire video from the beginning to the end. Hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel for more wrestling content because I'm on the road to 12K before April. Give this video 30 likes on this video. And follow my social media down below in the description. And I will see you guys live on Twitch for some more Combat live on Twitch. But I cannot wait for WWE 2K26 drop so I can create my wrestler and set up my universe mode. And that's all I gotta say from here. But anyway, have a great night. Stay safe and always stay positive. Kept your crew, kept your kings, kept your club. Too sweet. I'm out of here. Gang. Mwah. Bang. Too sweet. Gang. And I will see you guys on my upcoming world premiere for my AEW Dynamite review on High Side around 5 o'clock a.m. right here on my YouTube channel. Have a great night. Stay blessed and stay too sweet. I'm out of here. Gang. Mwah. Bang. Too sweet. Gang.